Hi everyone and welcome to the first of our Ask the Expert sessions. During these sessions we're getting real industry professionals to come in and talk us through what it's really like to do the jobs that you guys are training for doing your level 1, 2 or 3 courses. Today we're focusing on our personal trainers, so looking at sport courses, and we've got the wonderful Tom and the fantastic PT Dina. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing fine, how are you?
Oh, thank you, I'm very well. So I'll let you guys introduce yourself. Tom, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes, my name's Tom. I am a personal trainer. I've worked at a Nuffield Health gym in Rugby now for about 5 years. So I've always been an employed personal trainer. So representing Nuffield Health at the moment.
Fantastic. And you PT Dina?
I've been a PT in Leicester City for just 1 year, but I've been doing sports since I could walk. I learned a lot of what I can do now over in Southeast Asia, and also, like I say, growing up as a child, I was doing gymnastics.
Amazing, cool. So we've got a couple of questions that we're going to go through just to find out a little bit more about your jobs. But if you are watching at home and do have any questions, do feel free to pop them in the comments and these guys will answer them because they are literally experts. So they know, I'm not saying they know everything, I'm going to put them on the spot, but they do know a lot. So hopefully they'll be able to answer your question. So we'll start with sort of the very basic question here. What is it that a personal trainer does? Now, I know you guys are a little bit different because Tom, you work for a company and Dina, you're self-employed. But do you want to sort of tell us what your opinion of what a personal trainer job is? Who would like to go first? I'm going to put everyone on the spot.
My opinion of a personal trainer is someone that has the knowledge and the power to want to help everyone else become healthy and fit. You haven't got to be at the stage where you're bulking with muscles or you're able to run 5 marathons. My goal as a personal trainer is to just reach everyone that comes to me at a certain level, so they're just healthy, and then that brings happiness, and it really does.
Amazing. Tom, did you have anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I would say like my main ethos as a personal trainer is to help people navigate their goals. So like Dina said, there's a whole different range of what that can look like. Whether it's someone who's a complete novice to the gym, they're looking to lose weight or to build some muscle up or rehabilitation. Our role is to help them get to where they need to go.
Amazing. Now, can I ask, what is it that sort of made you want to become a personal trainer? Like, what was the thing that you thought, yeah, that's what I want to do?
Mine was children. Mm-hmm. When I returned back to the UK after working overseas, I realised we didn't have what they had in the country that I was in before. Like, we actually don't. We didn't have all the outdoor activities due to the weather. We don't have half the kind of, we don't have any, well, we don't have a lot of what I feel the children deserve here and what they need. So that's what made me want to then become a PT, because I thought, well, hold on, I can be a person in this city that can pass on all the knowledge and skills that I have within the industry to all these children. And then when they are going through school, doing exercise alongside all their exams, all their coursework, trying to figure out where they want to go from school, from college, from university, being, again, fit, healthy, happy, it helps alongside all life stuff. That's one of my main reasons why I wanted to be a PT.
Amazing. Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I like Dina, I've been doing sport, specifically swimming, since I was literally a small child. So I competed and coached for almost a decade and a half now in swimming. And I realised back in the day when I was volunteer coaching for swimming, I had a real passion for teaching. And it wasn't until actually a bit later, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit, that I actually decided to pursue that as a career. But I really found kind of my calling in teaching. And then the thing that I was most passionate about was always sport and exercise. So I figured, well, it's something I love doing, so why shouldn't I pursue it as a career and actually get paid for it? So that was kind of my inspiration for it.
Fantastic. So obviously we as a college have a couple of sports courses that go from level 1 to level 3. But do you have qualification, or what qualifications do you have that allow you to become a personal trainer and do that as your job? Should we start with you, Tom?
Yeah, sure. So I have SimSpa level 3 personal trainer certification. So that usually comes alongside with the level 2 gym instructor. So those two allow you to work in the gym environment, and specifically with the level 3, it allows you to become a personal trainer and work as one. So there's different governing bodies, and SimSpa is the one that endorses places like Nuffield, where I work for. So that was the route I chose to take to get my qualification.
Fab. And Dina?
Yeah, the same as Tom. I went down the route of the level 3, but I also did my CrossFit level 1. Because CrossFit is another type of sport. So I did that so I could obviously I did that more for my own benefit as well, to learn about it. And then I'll be, hopefully sooner rather than later, once the COVID is over, I'll be doing my level 1 gymnastics for children.
Amazing, cool. So there's quite a few different courses that can sort of obviously specialize you in different areas then, which I didn't realize. Amazing. So you guys obviously you didn't need to go to university for your course, but is there the ability to go to higher education to become sort of a personal trainer? Or would you recommend going straight into the industry?
I recommend over anything is experience. So that is going to higher education, leaving your social bubble, experiencing what is out there with education and with yourself. That's what's needed. I don't believe anyone should leave school at a young age, go to college, get their level 3 straight away, and then maybe jump straight inside a gym, unless they've come from a big athletic background, because it's experience. You need experience as well as qualifications. But that's my opinion.
Tom?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that, I'm quite fortunate where I work. There's a really good mix of people who have sports science degrees, and people like myself who've gone straight in with the level 3 PT course. But I like Dina was saying before, how she's got her CrossFit qualification. That's something that I'm quite passionate about, and equally I've done additional courses and still have ones planned in the future for when things settle down a bit. It's just to continue educating yourself. So whether you go down that university route first, or you go straight into a qualification on the side, of full-time work, which is what I did, I think they're all good. But ultimately, I think, like Dina said, like gaining that real-world experience is pretty crucial to actually succeeding as a PT. Because a lot of people, I think, assume the job is something that it's not. So actually having first-hand experience on it is really crucial.
Amazing, cool. So it's really about like keeping up to date with what's going on. Obviously, there's always new different types of exercise coming out. So I imagine it's quite a learning process constantly, even when you're secured in your job. Amazing. So we've talked about sort of experience, but what skills would you say that you need in order to become a successful personal trainer?
I believe you have to have had, you've had to have gone, you have had to go through something yourself, and then that will then obviously naturally bring you the skills as well. But sorry, I'm like losing my tongue, because you can be a personal trainer without having any skills. You can, like you say, go to university. You could have a very good brain with you and get yourself through with the qualifications, and then go into a gym. But the skills that you need to succeed as a personal trainer, again, going back to life skills, is the experience within yourself. So you need to have been able to, I believe, going through maybe not eating habits, but eating habit issues, and then your own complex issues about yourself, and then going into physical skills. I think all of them is what you need to become a successful personal trainer, because then you are able to actually pass real life knowledge onto the people in front of you, and that then comes with real help, I guess, as well, because you've experienced certain things yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Tom, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I mean, I've over the years that I've been doing this job, I've realised more and more that obviously it goes without saying that as a coach, as a PT, you should be well versed in anatomy. You should have a good nutrition framework behind you as well, because they're essential to giving a good advice. But the thing I've realised more than anything is you need to have patience and you need to have empathy when it comes to coaching people, because every person that you coach is different, and you do your tests and your qualifications, and they go through scenarios with you about person A and person B and how you would coach those people, but you probably get 1 out of 50 real clients like that. And actually, because everyone's so unique, and you know, Dina kind of mentioned it a bit there, which was about, you know, going through a similar experience yourself. A lot of people come with emotional baggage when it's when they've gone on a journey to actually find you. Chances are that person who's come and done coaching with you isn't there just on a whim. They've gone through some turmoil themselves. They've gone through some failure with dieting and exercise. So you really need to put yourself in that person's shoes, and you really need to be patient with them in order to kind of build those real like connections with people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people going to the gym, it can be that first initial situation can be really, really scary for a lot of people and quite daunting. So I suppose the part of it is not just having a blanket coverall for everyone that walks through your doors. You have to be ready to adapt and change everything that you're doing. That's sort of the vibe. Is that correct?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, amazing. So you've mentioned obviously going to South Asia, Dina, but what work experience did you have in the industry before you became a personal trainer?
So within the work experience within the industry, not a great amount actually, because before I qualified, which enabled me to work in the gym, I was a prison officer. So I didn't have any personal training experience. I just had my own experience by like I say, I've been doing sports since a young girl. I've been going to basketball games, cricket games, football games, gymnastic competitions, competing against myself, with myself. I've been going to the gym forever, so but work experience wise, not much since before I came on.
Amazing. Tom?
Yeah, me too. My major experience in the industry was, except from the coaching that I did when I was a bit younger, was virtually non-existent. My real experience from this industry came from being coached, actually, because obviously being, you know, like it sounds like you are as well, Dean, like being an athlete at a point in your life, you get used to being coached and what that environment feels like. And I think that helps you develop your coaching style a bit anyway, because you know how you respond to certain things. And, you know, that really like kind of shaped my decisions moving forward.
Amazing. So we talked about sort of being a PT as a whole, but if we talk sort of more specific about your roles, to give people a more realistic example of what it's like to sort of live and work as a personal trainer. So what hours, obviously outside of COVID, what hours do you normally work a week, would you say? Thomas, should we start with you? Oh.
Sure. So I reckon on a normal week, like you said, outside of everything that's going on, I probably work 60 to 70 hours a week. And that's obviously built up over a period of years because, you know, unless you are just kind of working for free to get new clients from, you know, the pool of people that you're around, you know, you're not going to be there for as long. But, you know, I include, you know, obviously a large chunk of that time is working with clients, but, you know, you do have quite a bit of downtime as a PT because, you know, you've got to remember that, you know, currently I work with about 20 or 30 different people, and that's 20 to 30 different people's schedules that you've got to work around. So you might have like a busy morning and a busy evening and a moderate, quiet midday. So you've got some idle hours where, you know, like myself, you know, I use that opportunity to train myself. But the other part of my time is kind of staying connected with people, writing programs, updating programs, you know, keeping in touch with people, making sure they're staying on pace. And obviously, you've got almost 30 odd people, for me personally, just contacting you at random times of the day about just about anything. So, you know, I feel it's my responsibility as their coach to be on hand if they need me. So really, I feel like my clock doesn't stop until I go to sleep. You know, my wife doesn't really like that. It's part of the job, and, you know, it's something that I feel quite passionate about. So I probably extend myself a bit more. But yeah, that is pretty much what my average week looks like.
Fab. And Dina?
Yeah, like Tom just said, actually, it is like a 24-hour job because your mind never closes off from it. But I think that's the case in most jobs if you're passionate about that. Yeah, your mind doesn't really shut off. And if your clients do email, message, phone call, you have to be there for them because that's what they need you for. That's why you're in their life. But me, normally on a normal life working day, my hours are being self-employed. I've managed to sort myself out quite nicely. So I just work hard in the mornings, hard in the evenings, and then I make sure I give myself 3 to 4 hours in the day where that's dinner time.
Perfect, cool. So we've talked about, obviously, Tom, you work for a gym, and Dina, you're self-employed. What was it that made you make the decision to take that path? So Tom, what made you want to work in a gym?
For me, I don't think it was so much about working for a gym. But when I got the opportunity when I saw the job come up at Nuffield, I gravitated towards it quite quickly because the kind of ethos of the company, what they stand for, really resonate with me. As a coach, I believe in that kind of message that they send out as a charity. So that was like, that really gravitated me towards it. And I guess for me as well, I think a lot of people will appreciate this, and even people who are self-employed, it is a bit of security as well. And that's not to say that being self-employed is a bad idea by any means, but there's positives and there's drawbacks for both positions, whether you're in a gym or whether you're self-employed. But for me, Nuffield have done a lot for me in terms of helping me with my professional development, obviously security when it comes to times like this. But also I like to have that home base as well. And there's a large pool of people coming to the gym that I work at, so it does make potential clients a little bit easier as well.
Fab. And Dina, I know you've obviously been working through COVID. What's it been like for you being self-employed?
I've really enjoyed it. It has been the first time in my life that I've been self-employed, and it was scary at first, especially because it was a whole new career path as well for me. But I love it because I'm part of a very good gym, and it's one of the biggest freelance gyms in Leicester as well. So that comes with, like Tom was saying, a huge variety of clients. And I'm outgoing as well, and I'm not shy. So I found being self-employed for me personally was needed because it meant I can bounce to all different gyms and just do my thing. And I love that because I'm able to meet so many different people. So yeah, it's so good.
Cool. So we've had a question from Sonia on Facebook. Sonia asks, are there any aspects of the job that you didn't enjoy or that are a bit frustrating? So we're talking about the realistic side of the job now. So what is it that sort of the one thing that maybe doesn't sort of not sit right with you, but you know what I mean?
What the thing that I get the most upset about, and my girls all know it, and my children, is when I can see how hard they're working, how much they're trying, and they truly do not believe they are. It really hurts me because I'm there in front of them live, watching them, or even on Zoom, on the phone, or anywhere, and they're getting so upset. And I'm like, no, you're doing so well. That's probably the most frustrating thing for me.
And Tom?
There's a hard one, actually. I mean, the thing that comes to my mind is that it's not necessarily a negative, but it's something that I've realized over the years, that you will get some clients who come to you and they don't actually really want to put the work in. There is kind of a big sort of, I don't know, I think people romanticize having a PT sometimes, if that makes sense. They think by having one as a default, they're going to be better and they're going to get to their goals quicker. But you still have to put the work in, whether you by yourself or you've got a coach around, a team of people around you, whatever. You still have to work hard for it. And I guess that's the only, fortunately, I've not had very many of those at all over the years I've been working, but occasionally you do either hear with your other colleagues who have had similar experiences, or the occasional person who just, they don't seem to want to put the work in, and you just think to yourself, well, if somebody else could have that spot, and do more with it. I guess that's the only minor frustration I have with it, but it's a small one.
Amazing, cool.
So can I just add to that? Sorry, sorry, Tom, that's a small one, but that's a very important one, actually. I really like that because it's true. It's really upsetting, isn't it, when that does happen? It happens a lot.
Yeah. It is one of those things where people just it's like the magic pill thing. Everybody talks about the magic pill when it comes to fitness and exercise. There is no magic pill. There is no shortcut. We're here to give you the best possible advice. I always use this example when I'm talking to potential new clients, for example. I'll always give them the example of, if something goes wrong with your electrics or your water in your house, would you call an electrician or plumber, or would you do it yourself? I would seek help from a professional. And your body is the most intricate system that you have available to you. So why would you not get some real advice for that.
Amazing, cool. So if we're sort of going back to sort of the realistic side of the job, one thing that a lot of people want to know before they get into the career is how much money they're going to be earning. That's a big thing for a lot of people, especially at the moment. Now you don't have to tell me specific numbers, but how much would you say you earn? Should we start with you, Dina, as you're self-employed? So I know it varies a little bit.
Yeah, so with me it varies because I do children. And I do women only. So, but I assess on what they need. Everyone in life is individual. So I do assess on who and what is standing in front of me. But I earn enough to live a nice life independently, comfortably. But again, this job you'll learn as well. The minute you get into it, you could earn £300 a month or £3,000 a month. You'd be so happy knowing that you've helped people live. That's the main thing.
Amazing. And Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind so much talking about. I mean, I guess probably the best thing for me to say is like what our gym charges, because then people can kind of get an idea from it. So our gym is like a flat rate type thing for personal training. It's about £45 for an hour. So if you do some maths in your head and work out like how many hours a week you're willing to work, that kind of gives you an idea. But, I work 6 days a week, as I said, 12 to 15 hours most days when I'm actually on the ball with it and COVID is not a thing. So, like I said, it was a big step up from my previous career that I was in. And like Dina said as well, the actual reward you get from it makes it feel even easier.
Fantastic, cool. So we've had a couple of questions online. So Wajida's asked, what has been your career highlight? Putting you on a bit of a spot there to think back, but what would you say is the highlight of your career? Yeah.
My highlight of my career was meeting Wajida. No, I can't say that. No, the highlight of my career so far is I keep going back to it, but it's the children. It's seeing it's watching my little baby tribe learn and grow and gain. That's what the highlight of my career so far.
Amazing. And Tom?
I've got a couple actually, because there's some ones which to me feel a bit like more superficial, but there's like one that's just popped in my head now actually. So I got married a couple of years ago, and just by complete coincidence, in that same year, I coached 4 different women who were also getting married within a 6-month period. So for me, I felt like hugely invested that year in getting these women looking amazing for their wedding days. And I wish I had the pictures to hand to show you. I don't, but they had some amazing transformations. And in that same year, I had 2 ladies, because I've also done a pre and postnatal course to help me coach women through pre and post pregnancy. And I've got kind of 2 mums who I've helped coach before and after pregnancy as well. So I feel very proud to have been part of that experience with them. So obviously, getting married and having children is a big deal. So and lots of women out there want to keep their confidence as they go through these things. So I feel really strongly about that. So
amazing, and particularly fitting given it is International Women's Day today.
Yeah.
So we've had a question from Callum who asks, I'm putting you on the spot now, testing your PT knowledge. Is there any advice that you'd give? Maybe a couple of little tips on how to stay active, even more so now, obviously, given the situation. What would a couple of little tips you'd give?
Find something that you enjoy first, because if you don't enjoy running, you're not going to get out of bed every morning and go running 3 times a week, 4 times a week, are you? One day you'll hit that wall where you think, nah, I'm not going. If you like skipping, find the rope. If you like climbing, go climbing. Find something that's active that you love or that you just enjoy. Make it into fitness. That's my advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000,000% I agree with that. But the only thing I'd add to that as well is, whether we are in the situation we're in now or, post all of this, even if you go to the gym or you go for a walk or a run or whatever, and it's not the best, you still did something. Don't beat yourself up about it. Something is always better than nothing. Even if you go in and you just had like the worst gym session of your life, you still went. It was better than not going and sitting at home and doing nothing. So don't beat yourself up about it. Just stay as active as possible. I know for me personally, the kind of stuff that I really enjoy is just not currently available to me. But I just do my best to stay active in the best way I know possible.
Amazing, cool, thanks. So we're coming to our last couple of questions now. So if you do have any questions, do pop them in the comments and we'll try and answer those before we wrap up today. So what is something that people don't really know about being a personal trainer that might surprise them when they find out about it?
I think for me personally, what shocked me the most when I was in this career and I thought, oh gosh, what have I done? was when you're not on point, when you're not okay, because we're not always okay, none of us.
Yeah.
You have to be. But again, I know that is the same with most jobs out there, and that's the same with life, I guess, you know. But as a PT, these people are really relying on you. They want and expect you to know everything, to feel always okay, to always not necessarily look okay, because we're in a normal world, that's not okay. But yeah, you have to. So when you're not always okay, it's hard. It's quite hard.
I suppose it's quite mentally demanding knowing that, you know, you've got to give these people quite a lot in order for them to get some out of it. So I feel like sometimes I get what you're saying with that one. Tom, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I agree with what you just said as well. You know, you do get put on a pedestal a little bit as a coach. But I think for me, the biggest surprise that I found, and I found out this quite quickly because of just by chance with the actual clients that I got in my first year of the job, was you become more of like a mentor / life coach to these people that you coach. You know, the thing that I didn't prepare for when I first got this job was how much of a rapport and how much of a connection you actually end up having with your clients. And I'm sure Dina will agree with me when I say that, you know, I know a lot of my clients, I know all their kids' names, their wives and husbands' names, I know what they do on a day-to-day basis. You know, I know a lot about their life, and it was quite interesting to me to kind of go through that experience and realize that actually people do unload a lot to you. And I think that's really important as a coach. It's one of the things that I've pursued as a result of doing something called neurolinguistic programming, which is, you know, like mindset coaching and things like that. It's just so important these days because, like we were saying earlier, you know, you have bad days and you have good days, and you need to be able to navigate all of those. So that I think the biggest surprise for me was just how much of that people do share with you.
Yeah, amazing. So we've covered this one a little bit, and by a little bit we've mentioned it quite a lot, but I'm going to ask you again. So what would you say is like the most rewarding aspect of being a personal trainer?
Seeing people feel happier about themselves. It really is. And again, I only have male children or females. So when I know that I'm going to bed at night and I know that there's females either older or younger or the same age as me or my children taking their clothes off that night, looking at themselves thinking, yeah, I'm healthier inside today, that makes me feel good. That's so rewarding.
Amazing. Tom?
Yeah,
that's cool. My biggest thing is, which is why I chose to be a coach in the first place, is about teaching people new skills. Like, there's nothing more satisfying to me than when you bring somebody into the gym and you're about to start a new exercise, or you're talking to them about nutrition, and they've got absolutely zero clue about what you're talking about. And by the time they leave, they feel totally empowered. You know, they've learned a new skill, and it shows on their face. And then sometimes, you know, you can impact somebody's whole day by doing that. And that's the thing I love most about this job, is that teaching aspect.
Amazing, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. That's about all we have time for today. Before I let you go off, and I assume go to doing some more exercising, I imagine that's what you do most of the day. Is there anything that you'd a tip that you'd give someone who's like a young person looking to become a personal trainer? Any sort of last bit of advice that you'd want to leave them with before we wrap up?
My advice is, if you have passion for sports, exercise, health, fitness, whatever it is you want to call it as a whole, plus have that passion and confidence to then pass that on and help other people, do it, because life is so much fun. I'm 29 years old now, like I say, into a new career, and I feel 22. I feel 22. I love it.
Amazing.
It's fun.
And Tom?
Yeah, I agree. If you're passionate about something, grab it with both hands. You know, as like a side note to that, you know, because I couldn't say it better than you just did, to be fair. Just brush up on all the foundations. You know, learn your basics early before you go into this course. I know for me, you know, I imagine Dina was the same. Like, I was so into this type of realm of thinking before I did my course, you know, I knew a lot of it already because I was actively looking, you know, for these things. I was doing my own research. Obviously I'm used to different training systems myself. So clear yourself up on your anatomy, get your people skills, you know, in check, and just be yourself as well. Nobody wants to be coached by somebody false. You know, be who you are, and you'll shine through, and you'll get clients from that, and they'll stay with you as well. Most importantly, that if they like what you do and they like what you're about, you'll have clients for a long time.
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. This has been really informative. Hope it's helped everyone at home. If this has really driven you to sort of wanting to get on our courses, we have level 1, 2, and 3 sports courses that do touch on personal training in those. We also have an adult course as well that you can look into if you're looking to change your career like Dina did at a little bit of a later age. You can definitely go into that with our adult courses. But thank you guys so much for watching. We've got more Ask the Expert sessions coming up very soon. You can find out more information on our website. We're touching on all different kinds of things. We're looking at healthcare professions. We've got a crime scene analyst coming in, which I'm very excited about, and so many more things. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a fantastic rest